I have the honour to introduce our conferring party today. Starting from the left-hand side of the stage, we have Dr. Michael Hannon, Vice President for Quality Assurance and Registrar, Professor Sarah Mohan, my apologies, Professor Graham, my sincere apologies, I'm going to start that again. I have the honour to introduce the platform party. Starting from the left-hand side, we have Dr. Michael Hannon, Vice President for Quality Assurance and Registrar, Dr. Billy Bennett, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Registrar, Dr. Orla Flynn, President of ATU, Professor Graham Heaslip, Head of College and Head of the School of Engineering, and Sarah Mohan, who is the Student Union President of ATU Galway Mayo and also a member of our governing body. We also extend a warm welcome to our heads of school, heads of department and academics. Iarmar an Tullabh, Graham Heaslip, Ceann an Cloiste, Galway Mayo, gan an service Brunta Oscailt. I call upon Professor Graham Heaslip, Head of College of Galway Mayo, to open the conferring ceremony.
Fáilte gach duine chuig an Searmais Brunta seo, tá an áras orm a bheith ag an ócáid specialta seo I bhéile an Ulster Technology on Atlantic. Distinguished guests, President Finn, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this spring conferring session. I'll extend my best wishes to the graduates later, but first I want to congratulate the parents and families here. As a parent myself, I know that putting your child through third level these days is no walk in the park. Some years ago I had a colleague who sent 2 kids through college, even though neither he nor his wife attended university. He and his spouse were very proud of that accomplishment, as they should have been. But my colleague also used to say that from a financial perspective, the experience was like buying a new car every year and then driving it off a cliff. I should say that he always added that he would do it all over again in a minute. So well done to the mums, dads and the families. Congratulations to all today's graduates. You have worked very hard to get here today. Many of you began your journey 3 or 4 years ago, and I hope during that time you have developed new skills and knowledge that will take you to the next stage of your career. It is important that we remember what happened over the last few years. Some of you graduating today would have had your secondary school disrupted by COVID, while all of you in the room would have been impacted in one way or another by the pandemic. This resulted in significant changes for everyone involved, staff and students, and required huge flexibility to achieve your objectives. While it was difficult to deal with at the time, it also allowed you to develop skills that you didn't know you had, and also to build resilience to deal with the unexpected. I'm well aware that you wish to celebrate your success here today, so I'll keep my remarks short, as this evening is all about you, the graduates. I thought I would just use my few minutes today to make some suggestions, or maybe just 4 observations about the world and your lives after ATU. My qualification for making such suggestions or observations is the same as the reason your brother or sister got to go to bed later than you. I'm older than you. All of what follows has been road tested, but past performance is no guarantee of future results. So firstly, nobody likes to fail, but failure is an essential part of life and of learning. The successful American football coach Vince Lombardi said, "If your uniform isn't dirty and you haven't been in the game, so keep trying, take risks." Forrest Gump said something about life and a box of chocolates and not knowing what you're going to get. Life is unpredictable. Any 22-year-old who thinks he or she knows where they will be in 10 years, much less 30 years, is simply lacking in imagination. Look at what happened to me. 3 decades ago, I was a junior officer about to take a career break and play professional rugby. After finishing playing professional rugby, I returned to the Defence Forces, where I was minding my own business, trying to think of a good reason to get out of another parade. Years later, after teaching in different universities in Ireland and abroad, I arrived here in ATU. So going back to Forrest Gump's insight, who wants to know the end of a story that's only in its early chapters? So graduates, don't be afraid to let the drama play out. Thirdly, I'm not going to tell you that money doesn't matter, because you wouldn't believe me anyway. But if you're part of the lucky minority with the ability to choose, remember that money is a means, not an end. A career decision based only on money and not on love of the work or a desire to make a difference is a recipe for unhappiness. And finally, call your mum and dad once in a while. A time will come when you will want your own grown-up, busy, hyper-successful children to call you. And also remember who paid for your tuition. Some of you have overcome personal adversity. Some of you experienced difficult times. setbacks. So remember what Steve Jobs said. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Before I finish, I would like to thank a few people. To the faculty, thank you for the wonderful job you do. Your engagement and dedication is exemplary, and without your commitment to progress, we would not move ahead at the pace we need to. To the many support staff, thank you. These colleagues are the backbone of our daily lives, and without them, it would be impossible to get many tasks completed. To the families and friends sitting here today, thank you for the support you provided to help these graduates get through their time in higher education. I have no doubt the role you play in their lives has been helpful and encouraging. Thank you to the many students who acted as class representatives and helped the Student Union and myself in our work. And finally, to the graduates, I wish you every success on the road ahead and would ask you please keep in touch with us. We want to keep in touch with you and share our news and our stories. And hopefully you will come back and meet future students and share your life experiences with them as you begin your careers. I will finish by paraphrasing Bono. What are you willing to spend your moral capital, your intellectual capital, your cash, your sweat equity in pursuing outside of the walls of ATU? The world is more malleable than you think and is waiting for you to hammer it into shape. Thank you and enjoy your day and the very best of luck.
Inish, Aram, Aaron Dr. Orlan Elaine, Uachtarán Ulscoil Technoliaachta an Atlantic. Gradam a brona in Foglamori a Bronan Ulscoil Technoliaachta an Atlantic Conacrehe Shin, agus Aram, Dr. Liam o Benaid, Las Uachtarán Ganohi Acadula, agus Clearahori Nahirahor a Queer Láher. Now I call upon Dr. Orla Flynn, President of Atlantic Technological University, to confer awards on the learners presented by the Atlantic Technological University for that purpose. And I ask Dr. Billy Bennett, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Registrar, to present the candidates.
De bhua an údarás atá díolsithe in Ulscoil Technoliaachta an Atlantic. Brunam leis a doctaní ar na fálamóirí a bhaint an chaidán den na doctaní sin, agus iarm go gcuirfar na fálamóirí sin I láthair chuam, chun go mroinnig mé a bar chéime orthu go faramiúil. By virtue of the authority vested in Atlantic Technological University, I hereby confer awards on the learners who have achieved the standard determined for those awards, and I ask that those learners be presented to me so that I may formally present them with their parchment.
Uachtarán Cuirmiláthar chuat na hiarrthóirí seo Lanas a bhfuil a dorthaí scrúdathe dleachta agus de bhachtaní ag leibhéal a 6, a 7, a 8, a 9 agus a 10 den na creach náisiúnta ciallaíochtaí a bheith ceadathe ag Comhairle Acadúil Ulscoil Technoliacht an Atlantic. President, I present to you the following candidates whose examination results have been adopted and awards at levels 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 of the National Framework of Qualifications have been approved by the Atlantic Technological University Academic Council.
I call upon Coach Noon, Head of Galway International Hotel School, to present the candidates from the Galway International Hotel School.
Higher Certificate in Arts in Culinary Arts Professional Chefs Programme. Taig O'Brúdar in absentia. The Higher Certificate in Business and Tourism, Wyn van Ringe in absentia. We congratulate these students on their awards. I call on Dr. Oliver Ryan from the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering to call on candidates from this department.
Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, the Higher Certificate in Engineering in Manufacturing Engineering, Mark Ilsonen. in absentia. The Higher Certificate in Engineering in Biomedical Engineering, Xian Shi. The Bachelor of Engineering in Biomedical Engineering, Jared Curry. The Bachelor of Engineering in Manufacturing Engineering Design, Jamie McGlown, in absentia. The Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Mechanical Engineering, Jack McGovern. The Postgraduate Diploma in Environmental Systems, Derek O'Brien, in absentia. Would the graduates from Mechanical and Industrial Engineering Department please stand for a well-deserved round of applause. I call on Mary Rogers from the Department of Building and Civil Engineering to call on the candidates from this department.
Bachelor of Science in Construction Management, Oisin O'Connor, in absentia. Bachelor of Science in Construction Management, Jack O'Toole, in absentia. Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Conor Barrett. Higher Diploma in Engineering in Building Information Modelling, William Mullins. Postgraduate Diploma in Science in Circular Economy Leadership for the Built Environment, Roisin Cahill. Marta Sizatska, in absentia. I would ask the graduates from the Department of Building and Civil Engineering to stand for a well-deserved round of applause. I call on Dr. Noel Harvey from the Department of Business and Accounting to call candidates from this department.
The Bachelor of Business Honours, Kieran Carroll, in absentia. John Dolphin, in absentia. Keen Fahy. Jet Wee Lee, in absentia. Melissa Milan. Paula O'Brien. L. Louise Smith. Kieran Sweeney, in absentia. I would ask the graduates of the Bachelor of Business Honours to stand for a well-deserved round of applause. I call on Dr. Megan Drury-Grogan from the Department of Enterprise and Technology to call on candidates from this department.
The Bachelor of Business with Entrepreneurship, Jacob Klinger, in absentia. The Bachelor of Business in Marketing and Sales, Dylan Buckley. The Bachelor of Science in Business Information Systems, Johan Go, in absentia. Daniel Kerrigan. Aoife Larkin. Jose Poblaciones, in absentia. The Bachelor of Business in Rural Enterprise and Agribusiness, Cahill Fleming. The Higher Diploma in Business Analytics, Jason Brennan, in absentia. Bridie Coleman. Desmond Flynn. Angelika Glapska. Sandra Glavin, in absentia. Claire Healy. Mark Healy, in absentia. Shannon Kieran, in absentia. Ana Lizana Gomez. Damian O'Mahony. Paul Power, in absentia. Michelle Walsh, in absentia. Simone Wogan, in absentia. Ritvars Zelenins, in absentia. I ask for the graduands in the Bachelor of Business with Entrepreneurship, the Bachelor of Business in Marketing and Sales, the Bachelor of Science in Business Information Systems, the Bachelor of Business in Rural Enterprise and Agribusiness, and the Higher Diploma in Business Analytics to please stand for a round of applause. I now call on Celine Curtin from the Department of Creative Arts and Media to call candidates from this department.
Master of Arts in Creative Practice, Dylan Cleary, in absentia. I call on Dr. Dermot O'Donovan from the Department of Creative Education to present the candidates from the department.
The Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Teaching and Learning, Eamon Holt. Robert Mooney, in absentia. I now call on Dr. Eugene McCarthy from the Department of Analytical, Biopharmaceutical and Medical Sciences to present the candidates from his department.
Bachelor of Science Honours in Applied Biology and Biopharmaceutical Science, Evan Adetunji. Saoirse Hession. Favour Sain. Emer Shaughnessy. Kim Morby. The Higher Diploma in Science and Advanced Analytical Chemistry, Daniel Dubaj. John Maguire. Abada Godfrey Oke Hen Ikume, in absentia. Masters of Science in Biopharmaceutical Manufacturing, Veronica Grabiash, in absentia. Zubair Ishtiak. Yu Wen Kerr. Sharon O'Shea. Gizem Tuna. Masters of Science in International Medical Technologies, Innovation and Development, Therese Collins. Sadie Solari. I ask the graduates of the Bachelor of Science Honours in Applied Biology and Biopharmaceutical Science, the Higher Diploma in Science and Advanced Analytical Chemistry, Masters of Science in Biopharmaceutical Manufacturing, and the Masters of Science in International Medical Technologies, Innovation and Development to please stand for a round of applause. I call on Ed Daly from the Department, Dr. Ed Daly from the Department of Sport, Exercise and Nutrition to call on the candidates from this department.
Bachelor of Science in Sport and Exercise Science, Linda Daly, in absentia. Master of Science in Applied Sport and Exercise Nutrition, Kirsty Frick, in absentia. Dylan McVeigh. Matt Moran. Master of Science in Strength and Conditioning, Lorenzo Balzan. Keith Fanning, in absentia. Fiona Cashmere. Aaron Lohan. Niall McHale. Kieran O'Neill. Gavin Sinnott. Postgraduate Diploma in Science in Applied Sport and Exercise Nutrition, Holly McAvoy, in absentia. I ask the graduates from Bachelor of Science in Sport and Exercise Science, Master of Science in Applied Sport and Exercise Nutrition, Master of Science in Strength and Conditioning, and the Postgraduate Diploma in Science in Applied Sport and Exercise Nutrition to stand for a well-deserved round of applause. I call on Dr. Katie O'Dwyer from the Department of Natural Resources and the Environment to call on the candidates from this department.
Higher Certificate in Science in Applied Freshwater and Marine Biology, Laura Morahan, in absentia. Bachelor of Science in Applied Freshwater and Marine Biology, Yusuf Byrne. I ask the graduate of Bachelor of Science in Applied Freshwater and Marine Biology to please stand for a round of applause. I call on Dr. Garrett Rowe from the Department of Computer Science and Applied Physics to call on candidates from this department.
the Bachelor of Science in Network Cybersecurity, Jose Lyons Sanchez, in absentia. The Bachelor of Science in Computing and Software Development, Raekwon Liciano. Jose Peroni de Santos. The Bachelor of Science Honours in Computing and Software Development, Faustus Timulus. The Higher Diploma in Science and Computing and Data Analytics, Angelina Velotsakova-Skaya, in absentia. Donald Boggy, in absentia. James Connolly. Andres Solig. Veronica Curry. Ian Dumpster. Sean Elliott. Fabio Fabrizi. David Higgins. Breach Kennedy. Anna Kosakevich. Mohammed Mahadi, in absentia, for all those three. Sophia Metelik. Fezeka Zimande. Hans Perez Ruben de Celis. John Quinn, in absentia. Renan Riva, in absentia. Jamie Roach, in absentia. Eleanor Salmon, in absentia. Charlotte Scarry. Daria Sepp, in absentia. Andrew Shanahan, in absentia. Prasanth Sukumar, in absentia. Jamie Toll. Claire Tuberty. Roberto Bagano, in absentia. The Higher Diploma in Science and Software Development, Martin Benson, in absentia. Robert Butler. Wenmi Chen. Michael Clark, in absentia. Paul Cleary, in absentia. Luke Condren. Ronan Connor, in absentia. Connor Cowman, in absentia. Serena Dervishi, in absentia. Jake Ellert. Alexander Farkas. Vilma Zigoshevskaya. Evan Hickey. Richard Jameson, in absentia. Robert Jose Capuran. Sean Kearns. Valentina Koryahina, in absentia. Lucas Kostrovic, in absentia. Michael Severin Komishtuk, in absentia. Dusan Leskovac. David McCarran. Peter McDermott. Ryan McDermott. Thomas McHugh. Helena McMahon, in absentia. Evan Miles, in absentia. Pierce O'Shea, in absentia. Sean O'Toole. Jack Ormond. Renata Pettiado, in absentia. Aileen Piago Gaffey. Anita Prunty, in absentia. Fergal Riley. Anastasia Rishkova. Brian Scott, in absentia. John Sharp, in absentia. John Sullivan, in absentia. So, could I ask the graduates of the Bachelor of Science in Network Cybersecurity, the Bachelor of Science in Computing and Software Development, the Bachelor of Science Honours in Computing and Software Development, the Higher Diploma in Science in Computing and Data Analytics, and the Higher Diploma in Science and Software Development to please stand for a very, very well-earned round of applause. And may I call on Dr. Justin Kerr, Vice President for the ATU Mayo, and Head of School of Health, Science, Wellbeing and Society, to call the graduates from our Mayo campus, please. Thanks.
The Higher Certificate in Arts and History and Geography, Aidan Connolly. The Bachelor of Arts in Applied Social Care, Niamh Foley. The Bachelor of Arts in Outdoor Education, Conor Brennan. Could I ask the graduates of the Higher Certificate in Arts and History and Geography, Bachelor of Arts in Applied Social Care, and the Bachelor of Arts in Education to please stand for a round of applause. The Higher Certificate in Science and Health Science, Paul Cady, in absentia. The Bachelor of Science in Health Science, Gemma Gibbons, in absentia. Bachelor of Science in Health Science, Orla O'Dea, in absentia. The Bachelor of Science Honours in Psychiatric Nursing, Aisling Meehan. The Bachelor of Science Honours in General Nursing, Michelle Grealis. Jane McNicholas. Maeve O'Grady. Doris Osaboyan. Postgraduate Diploma in Science and Applied Leadership and Management in the Public Sector, Carol Geraghty. Could I ask the graduates of the Higher Certificate in Science and Health Science, the Bachelor of Science in Health Science, the Bachelor of Science Honours in Psychiatric Nursing, the Bachelor of Science Honours in General Nursing, and the Postgraduate Diploma in Science and Applied Leadership and Management in the Public Sector, to please stand for a well-deserved round of applause.
I call on Dr. Lisa Ryan, Head of School of Science and Computing, to present the candidates for the award of Degree by Research.
I have the honour to present Ikuku Uchi for admission to the degree of Master of Science by Research, and I ask President Dr. Orla Flynn to confer the degree upon him. I ask the candidate supervisors, Dr. Attain Kiley, Dr. Cormac Quigley and Dr. Conrad Mulrennan, to come forward with their student.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Attain Kiley, and it's with great pride today that I introduce you to Ikuku Uchi, to be conferred with the award of Masters by Research within the Department of Computing and Applied Physics. Just to give you a little bit of background, Ike joined us, that's what we call him, Ike. He joined us from Nigeria after winning a very competitive ATU bursary, and he undertook a project entitled The Application of Machine Learning and Mathematical Modelling for Learning Analytics. This work has been very impactful, not only internationally, but also within our own university environment. He's developed automated personalized feedback forms for our students, and he's managed to identify as early as week 5 in semester 1 students who are struggling. Yeah, it's pretty good. No, I'm not finished. Ike's also published in academic conferences in Paris, London, Killarney, Dublin. He's received international acclaim with recognition through awards like Data IQ for Responsible AI. And just as recently as last month, he got an award for his video demonstrations on how to implement the system in Japan. He's also offered back to the open source community his Open API Moodle Attendance API. And I just want to say, Ike is an exceptional student, not just for his technical skills. Beyond that, these are the qualities I think that are so unique that Ike has in abundance. He's curious. Yes. And he has what I think are the critical skills, which is a deep desire to learn and make an impactful contribution. And so I ask you now to warmly congratulate Ike for his achievements.
I call on Dr. Lisa Ryan, Head of School of Science and Computing, to present the candidates for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Well, how to follow that? I have the honour to present Giovanni Capelli for admission to degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and I ask President Dr. Orla Flynn to confer the degree upon him. I ask the supervisors, Dr. Heather Lally, Dr. Martin Gamel and Dr. Emma Gray, to come forward with their student.
Giovanni's thesis is entitled Physico-Chemical Characterization and Biological Community Assessment of Protected Dystrophic Lake Habitats in Ireland, Determining Their Conservation Needs. Giovanni's thesis is supervised by Dr. Heather Lally, Dr. Emma Gray, Dr. Martin Gamel and Dr. Killian Roden, who can't be with us this evening. But this research found that water chemistry parameters could be used to distinguish two types of protected lake habitats from each other.
In addition, he found that specific macrophyte communities were higher within one type of lake, the oligotrophic isoethys lake habitat. These are a very rare plant and can be used to distinguish these types of lakes from each other. In addition, his third chapter looked at insect communities, so lots of time under the microscope. Here he found that acidic oligotrophic lake habitats were dominated by diving beetles and whirlywig beetles, while the other lake type was dominated by damselflies and scavenger beetles. So he's quite into beetles for those of you interested in the community, if you're looking for someone. Knowledge gained from the research has improved our current Irish classification of both protected oligotrophic lake habitat types. So this is new research to Ireland. It has helped define water chemistry standards to detect favourable reference values for the achievement of favourable conservation value at an EU level for these lakes. And it has informed best practice biological methodologies and assessment tools to determine these required conservation conditions, which we hope will be used at an EU level. This work is also published by Giovanni, so well done. We thank the Environmental Protection Agency and the National Parks and Wildlife Service for funding the research. And finally, I'd just like to give a shout out to Giovanni's parents and family who are listening or hopefully watching us on the live stream, as they couldn't be here today. So,
Now, I have the honour to also present Signe Martin for admission to degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and I ask President Dr. Orla Flynn to confer the degree upon her. I ask the supervisors, Dr. Katie O'Dwyer and Dr. Ian O'Connor, to come forward with their student.
The title of Signe Martin's PhD is an investigation of microparasites and microbes in 4 decoupage crustaceans, and it was funded with a prestigious Cullen Scholarship from the Marine Institute. And I can imagine now that many of you are wondering why anyone would be interested in parasites and microbes in crustaceans. Signe, myself, or the other supervisors at ATU and the Marine Institute could spend hours telling you about this, but instead I'm going to try and squeeze it into a minute or two. Crustaceans, including the crabs and lobster that Signe studies, are key players in their environment, where they are scavengers on the seafloor, recycling nutrients throughout that environment. As well as this, they are a valuable food source, and crustacean fisheries are on the rise around the world, where in Ireland, crustacean fisheries are worth over €100 million annually, and they support many livelihoods, especially here on the West Coast. And so now we come to our interest in their parasites and microbes. Parasites in crustaceans can affect their health, leading to problems in sustaining crustacean populations and adding pressures to crustacean fisheries. During this PhD research project, Signe investigated parasites in 3 different crab species and 1 species of lobster. Throughout the project, Signe was targeting 3 different parasite groups and spent several years examining various features of these parasites, including where exactly they could be found in these crustaceans, how they might be infecting the crustaceans, and what effects they might be having on them. Signe also investigated the microbiome of infected and uninfected crabs to identify other possible effects of infection on host health. Finally, Signe carried out a review of the literature comparing many different parasite crustacean combinations to identify general patterns in mortality of infected and uninfected individuals. Overall, the work contributes important insights to crustacean health, informing management plans and hopefully leading to sustainable crustacean populations for the future. Up to now, the outputs of Signe's PhD have been published in leading international peer-reviewed scientific journals. Signe has also presented the work at international and national scientific meetings, winning Best Presenter on several occasions, and has completed training in histology, genetics, and bioinformatics, to name a few. Signe represented also our School of Science and Computing and Department of Natural Resources and Environment at ATU Open Days and various other scientific outreach events, and always contributed very positively to the ATU's Marine and Freshwater Research Centre team. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Signe on all the work completed towards obtaining the PhD award today.
I call on Professor Neville McClenaghan, Head of Department of Life Sciences at ATU Sligo campus, to present the ATU Sligo candidates for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I have the honour to present Reena Barard for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and I ask President Dr. Orla O'Flynn to confer the degree upon her. I ask the supervisors, Dr. Margaret O'Riordan and Dr. Dolores Byrne, to come forward with their student.
The title of Reena's thesis was, "Can Good Farmers Become Good Environmental Stewards?" Exploring hill farmers' situated good farmer identity in the context of prescriptive and results-based agri-environmental schemes in the west of Ireland. Reena's thesis was funded through a prestigious Connacht Ulster Alliance scholarship by the ATU. She is a native of Mainz in Germany, and she undertook a Bachelor's of Heritage Studies at ATU Mayo. This stimulated her interest in both natural and cultural heritage, which led her to undertake her PhD in environmental science at ATU Sligo. She has presented her work at numerous international conferences and has been invited to speak by the National Parks and Wildlife Service and other nature conservation bodies in Ireland. It's the first study to comprehensively examine farmers' values, attitudes in relation to results-based schemes, agri-environmental schemes. Her study brings an interdisciplinary lens to the cultural, social and environmental influences on farmers' adoption of these schemes. And she is currently working with the Galway Roscommon Education and Training Board as a teacher in the area of sustainable agriculture. And she aims to further her research into farmers' participation in nature conservation. So I now invite you to warmly congratulate her for her PhD in environmental science.
I have the honour to present Dr. Sean Doyle for admission to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and I ask President Dr. Orla Flynn to confer the degree upon him. I ask the supervisor, Dr. Colin Filey, to come forward with their student.
I've only got 5 pages to read, so I hope you don't have dinner booked anytime soon, guys. The title of Sean's thesis was "The Removal of Organic Compounds from Aqueous and Organic Media Through Absorption Processes Utilising Iron Oxide Nanoparticles." A Belfast native, Sean undertook a Master's in Pharmaceutical Biosciences at Ulster University. Upon joining the ATU, Sean brought a much needed hurling skill set and a strategic mindset to Sligo. Not unlike Sean, his thesis is versatile, dealing with topical issues such as water disinfection and herbicide decontamination. The highlights of Sean's work include publications in environmental nanotechnology and chemosphere, In addition, Sean's work has secured funding from Enterprise Ireland to develop a novel, to develop a novel system for the remediation of solvent waste from the pharma industry. As a postdoctoral member of the Duffy Group at NUIG, Sean is posed to make significant contributions to the field of ocular drug delivery. Now, undoubtedly, Sean has a bright future ahead, and it's been nothing short of a privilege to have been his supervisor. I wish Sean all the best, both in and outside of the lab, and a big shout out to his parents and extended family who've travelled down from Belfast to be with us today.
Congratulations to the graduates of Atlantic Technological University 2024. In keeping with tradition, you may move the tassel to the left-hand side of your mortarboard. You've now graduated. Congratulations. Iram Dr. Orlan Lyon and Uachtaráin Cricur Lish an O'Cade Shaw. I ask Dr. Orla Flynn, our President, to make the closing address.
Díomh a chuine úsla agus cuireann fáilte críúil go léir am tróna. Cogordas lenar géimethe ar fad agus nach ionach an lá atá going inniuh. I want to extend a warm welcome to everybody here with us today, virtually and in person, to you, our graduates, your families, and your friends. Welcome also to ATU colleagues and guests from right across the university. The main purpose of our graduation ceremony is to publicly recognise and celebrate your achievements. And on behalf of us all in Atlantic Technological University, I want to congratulate you on completing your course of study with us. Today is one of our really great days. Last year, we held our first ever spring graduation, and we had graduates who had studied in Galway, Mayo, Sligo, and Donegal, and online. This year, I'm delighted to say that today is the first of 2 spring graduations, and this is wonderful to see, and hopefully we will see more of this in the years ahead. In ATU, we recently celebrated our 2nd birthday as a new technological university, and those 2 years have flown, and it's good to reflect on what we've achieved together as a community of learners, staff, and graduates. And as I said in the booklet, from the outset, we aimed to become a technological university of scale, quality, and impact. We wanted to harness our collective strengths, both to support your learning, but also to collaborate with regional, national, and international partners. And I think we have colleagues here on the platform and in the audience from right across the university, and in supporting our PhD and master's research, we hear about partners that are national and indeed international. So I think we have made great strides in these aims. Our ethos of inclusion and diversity contributes to meaningful outreach and community initiatives. Our focus on research, innovation, entrepreneurship, and community engagement is already having a direct impact on the region, and our recently launched PhD program, scholarship program, funded through the TU Rise initiative, will see 60 new PhD candidates enrolled in ATU later this year. And if there's anyone interested in the audience, check out our website or Google ATU TU Rise. On the way in, you would have noticed the poster exhibition for software and electronic engineering, final year and year two projects. And education for sustainable development is a priority in ATU, and those students have evaluated their projects through a sustainability lens. They're applying their skills to real-world problems in areas including health,
agriculture, robotics, smart manufacturing, and business applications. You can see projects such as a smart beehive, an Internet of Things wheelchair, or an AI medical diagnostics tool. But our best impact in our region is actually through you, our wonderful new graduates. Through your talents and hard work, you will be the change that we need to see across the region. We are so proud of your achievements, and we're confident that you've the knowledge, skills, and competencies to succeed in your career goals. The world is what you will make of it, so please feel free to fly high. And I hope that as you're flying along there, that you'll remain in touch with us in ATU. Remember that you're now part of a large community of ATU alumni. We look forward to continuing to support you through lifelong learning and continuous professional development opportunities. And to conclude today, I want to thank everyone who assisted in any way with this evening's ceremony, our academic colleagues and our many professional support staff, all of whom have worked so hard to support you during your time with us. Cogorda Sarish, agus Tasulagon Gominik Shiv Sultas and Iha, Goramila Magriv.
Respected guests, academics, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the meeting for the purpose of conferring awards on the graduates of our technological university. I ask the PhD and Masters by Research students, their supervisors and their guests to meet on the first floor as they exit the conferring hall for photography. We hope that you enjoyed the ceremony and get a chance to celebrate with family and friends, enjoy some Galway hospitality. I now request you all to rise for the closing procession of the conferring party. Academic staff and invited guests as they leave the hall.